So what do we do when we find out that somebody we know has cancer? I had a lady that I did not know, um, was about 3, 4 months behind me in treatments, going to the same hospital for melanoma. She had it at a different spot. And so my wife became really good friends with her. And they don't talk regularly, but they keep in touch and see what's going on. Then you find some high school friends that end up with breast cancer or some other cancer somewhere else. And you kind of react in a way that you want to know, and you want to be compassionate, and you want to let them know they're not alone in this battle. And you want to kind of reach out and just say, hey, I know what you're going through. And because my wife and I have shared our journey, they know that we understand what they're going through. One guy that I've gotten to know pretty recently, spent a few mornings with him working out and breakfasts and stuff, and found out that he had prostate cancer, and kind of blew me away. But the first thing I did was, hey man, what's the plan? What's going on? And kind of shared some more of my story with him, and kind of made it so he could feel that I'm a place that he could vent if he needed to. But checking in on him after the doctor's appointments and the surgeries and that kind of stuff. So keeping in touch is a big thing. And it was hard when my dad called me and told me that he had tumors in his bladder, and he didn't want to share because, one, I think he was embarrassed, and two, it had no comparison to what I just went through with my brain surgery and stuff. So he didn't want to try to, in his eyes, say that what he had was comparable. But he had a nice procedure. They removed everything and it was all good, clear. He's done the preventative treatments, and he's got all clear scans. So that's amazing. The very first person that I met that was a cancer survivor and warrior was a lady at our church group, and it was comforting to know that somebody had went through the same thing that I did, went through a cancer battle. She had breast cancer, and she'd been cleared for many years, and it recently came back, and we kind of kept in touch through her treatments, and instead of beating it the second time, it spread to her, it spread into her bones and organs and stuff. And I took that rather hard because this lady was a wonderful lady, super nice and whatnot. And she was the first one, though, that I felt that got it, that I felt that I could just sit and have coffee with and not say anything and just know she knew what was going on. So feel free to leave in the comments your little story, or email me your story and share maybe somebody or the first person that you've met that is a warrior. It's kind of like melanoma is kind of like the mob. There's only one way out, but you're still considered a warrior. So drop a comment on your story, and I'd love to hear them. If you email me, that'd be great. That's the way people are remembered, is through stories and sharing our experiences. And I can tell you that I've met a few people that don't want to talk about it, and that leads into kind of a cancer PTSD of sorts, which we'll get into in another chat. But and they don't want to talk about it. It's almost like they're ashamed to mention that they had this, or they'll be willing to talk about their wife going through it or somebody else, but not them. And I don't know. I feel that's how we make change and warriors find peace and able to deal with it, is knowing there's somebody else that has walked that path or is walking the path. So I can say I've had a couple phone calls, messages back and forth with people that have said, hey, I've got this going on, what's going on? And then if I don't hear from them in a week or two, I message back and like, hey, what's going on? What's the doctor's appointment? And it's hard to keep track of all the appointments, but you know that they have one coming up and you want to check and see. And that makes it, that person feel great when they know that you're asking because you care and you're genuinely interested in their procedures and processes, and not just to say you called. You know what I mean? So it's important to find your people. On Facebook, I've joined a group called Melanoma Unite, and it is very raw, full of dark humor, and it's a place where people can vent, and we need that. There's a lot of family and friends that don't understand the dark humor that a cancer patient has. So to have other people around and that can, help celebrate your little milestones and victories, cancer victories, it's a big thing. And just support. You can just say, hey, I don't know what's going on, but this is what's happening, and somebody's already been there. And that's a huge, huge tension breaker, for the anxiety. The scan anxiety is something that is can be absolutely crippling. And there's these people that know all about it. So reach out, find your people, and stick with them. And if you're not comfortable talking to people, if you're a melanoma, don your outdoor gear, cover up, and go on a walk and just talk to yourself. Just talk. Get it off your chest, get it out in the open. And you'll be amazed how much better you feel. Rock on, my fellow warriors.